Okay, hi. We are beginning with binomial set A. So first of all, what are binomials and what are monomials, trinomials? So when you have 2x, 2, 4x squared, things like that, these are monomials, single terms. Binomials are when you have two of those terms in one expression, like this one, 2x plus 4x. It's a binomial. This one is a binomial. Yeah. This is a monomial. Like if I'm asking you to find pi j or j is equal to -3, this one becomes a binomial. Yeah. All right. 8d plus 2d. If it's only one monomial, two together, binomial. Okay. Anyway, so 2x plus 4x. So treat it as addition. Yeah. Treat it as regular addition of numbers. So if it's 2x plus 4x, we know 2 plus 4 is 6. Yeah. So just add an x to it. Okay, so we take the difference. What is the difference of 5 and 18? 13. So you add an m to it. Now the sign part. The sign part is simple. Take the absolute value, which is the bigger absolute value, 18. Then the sign of 18 is negative. Then the result will be negative 13m. Both are negative. You add them up, right? So negative 26y. So remember, when it is 1 plus and 1 minus, you take the difference. After taking the difference, the outcome of the the difference that you have got, whether it be positive or negative, it depends on the absolute value of the bigger number sign. Yeah. Absolute value um, of the expression, no. So you'll consider the absolute value um, of the two numbers given to you, that from which you're taking out the difference. Yeah. And the great the bigger absolute value sign will be the sign of the difference. So for example, 5m, look at question number 2, 5m minus 18m. Yeah, the difference is 13m. Yeah, but the sign, whether it's 13m positive or 13m negative, that depends on the absolute value. So when I say absolute value, I mean the magnitude of the number without the variable. So between 5 and 18, if you disregard their sign, then the number which is bigger is 18. Yeah, then the result will be negative because you'll consider the sign of the bigger absolute value. So out here 18 has a negative sign. Therefore, the result 13 will be negative. 13m will be negative. Got it? Now, if they're both positive or both negative, then you simply take the sum. And the result is obvious. If they're both negative, the result will be negative. If they're both positive, the result will be positive. Consider question number 4 below. One is positive, one is negative. So you take the difference. The difference is 15r. Okay, right? Okay, you take the difference 15, just add a r because they are, 24r and 39r. Okay, and now to understand whether the 15r is positive or negative, you take the absolute value of negative 24 and positive 39. So when you take the absolute value, you're simply considering the numbers without the sign, whether it's positive or negative. So if two numbers 24, 39 given to you, which one is a bigger number? 39 is a bigger number. So what sign does 39 have in this expression? It is positive. Therefore, the result will remain positive. Okay. So let's say it was 24r minus 39r. The difference would be 15r. But this time, the outcome will be negative because the bigger of the 24 and 39, see, between 24 and 39, 39 is bigger. So you'll consider the sign of this number. What is the sign of 39? Negative. Therefore, the outcome is negative. Now, don't get confused out here with the fact that negative 24 and out here in this example, 24 hour and negative 39 hours. So if you're considering it as plain simple numbers like 24 and negative 39, yeah. So if you consider positive 24 and negative 39, then 24 is bigger than negative 39. But I'm not talking about uh, numbers with their sign. I'm talking about the absolute value. The absolute value or the magnitude of that of those numbers will be the numbers without their sign. So I'm just talking about 24 and 39. Understood? So between 24 and 39, 39 is the bigger number. That's what I mean by the absolute value. Now, whatever the sign of the absolute of the bigger absolute value, you'll take the sign as that sign of that number as the outcome out here, as the sign for the outcome, sign for the difference. Okay. 5. Again, we take the difference. So 86 and 12, the difference is 86, 74. Yeah. J. And the bigger of the two, the absolute values we'll consider is 86. 86 is positive, therefore this is the answer. Positive 70. Between 56M and 33M, one is negative, one is positive, so you'll take the difference. Difference is 23, and it'll be negative 23M. Why? Because the bigger of the absolute value is 56, and 56 has a negative sign. Therefore, the outcome also will have a negative sign. 43Q, 59Q. The difference is 16Q, and it'll be negative because bigger number is 59 and its sign is negative. Both are negative, you simply add them up. So it'll become 63, I believe. Yeah, and negative because both are negative. Okay. Ninth question. 36D, 87D. So if you do the math, you have to take the difference. And the difference is 51D. Yeah. And the outcome will be negative because the bigger number 87 has a negative sign. This one is 12Z. Yeah. Or 22Z. My bad. 22Z. Okay. 22Z. So you add a 20, you get a 65 and 267. So now between the two of them, the outcome will be positive because the bigger number 67 has a positive sign. Okay. So when it's positive, we don't write positive for the first number. If the first number is positive, we don't put a positive sign. Yeah. But if the second number is positive, we do put a positive sign. Like, oh, look at here. Yeah. And so with the outcome also, if it's positive, we don't put a positive sign. It's understood it's positive if we don't put a sign. Then this is substitution cases. Yeah. So this is by monomials, I would say. If m is 4, then what is 8m? So 8 times 4. That is 32. Okay. 3x is 7, so 3 times 7. That is 21. Replace x with 7. That's all that you have to do. Replace m with 4. Again, replace j with negative 3. So 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. Replace q with 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. Out here, there are two ways of solving it. Either you add them up. So when you add them up, you get 10d and then do the replacing. Replace d with 2. So you got 20 as the outcome. Or you individually, substitute d as 2. So you got 8 times 2 plus 2 times 2. So that is 16 plus 4. Yeah, which is 20 again. So any way is good. Now, I would suggest that you first do the subtraction and then substitute it. So 8r minus 5r is 3r. Why? You take the difference of the absolute values of 8 and 5, so that is 3, and then just add the r because that's how they are, 3r. And then whether 3r is positive or negative depends on the absolute value, which is a bigger absolute value, 8, and 8 is positive, therefore the outcome is positive. Now do the substitution. So 3 times negative 7, and that is 21 negative. Yeah, okay. Right, this is simple division and simplifying it. So m plus 3m is 4m. Again, like I said, we don't put a 1. It's understood it is 1m. Understood? Divide by 2. So when you divide by 2, you get 2m. Okay? 2 goes into 4 two times. 4d plus 8d is 12d. 12d divided by 4. 4 goes into 12 three times. So 3d. 4 and 38 is 42j upon 7. 7 goes into 42 6 times. So 6j. 7q minus 2q. So you take the difference, which is 5q. Whether it's positive or negative, you look at the sign of the bigger absolute value. So it is 5q positive upon 5. 5 and 5 cancel, so you get q or 1q. That's it. We're done with the binomial set A. Thank you.